Hi, YouTube. Y'all gotta bear with us. You know, we just getting the followers up. We still got.
Y'all already know what time it is. Just consider yourself behind the scenes while we getting started.
We got like 30 seconds, y'all.
Mr. Walk over there jamming on the on the break. Mr. Walker said, "All I want to be is happy." No, that's right.
If y'all tapped in, y'all got some comments. Drop the comments in the.
Let's do it.
I mean, topics in the comments. Let's go. I'm sorry about that. Oh, hi.
What's happening?
Truth be told, with myself, Tbeyb.
I'm Nelson L.
And I know it's Tuesday. Truth be told, y'all want to tap in with us. Make sure you give us a call at 816-599-6893. On the web, kuaw.org, KUAW-LPFM 985. If you want to watch us on Facebook, also check out the YouTube channel, KUAW. Like, share, subscribe, share this video. How y'all doing today?
What's happening? We here now.
Yes.
It's been a week, so we back around in the game. You got what's been happening this week, Tbeyb?
I want to talk about how many people we got on here. It's cool. I really wanted to.
We can start off with something light and then get into some more serious stuff later. I mean, we don't. It ain't nothing too light, but just some conversation to get started. So I got a few things, but my stuff might be on a deep. It might not be too light. So we'll just start off with Jay-Z. You know what's going on with Jigga?
No.
So he is taking over the marketing department for Puma tennis shoes. Remember Puma back in the day?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Jay-Z is I think he's the marketing executive for the NBA. So NBA is, how they're introducing different sports apparel like Under Armour or something like that. So for a long time it was Nike and Reebok, and then Under Armour kind of got in the game. Well, Jay-Z's trying to bring Puma back to where they'll be the logo on, I don't know, whatever team's NBA uniform.
He owned like a partial owner of a team anyway.
Right.
So we know they gonna
he was Brooklyn Nets, but he ended up selling his, but he's now an executive in the NBA itself, the entire league, and he's getting ready to introduce Puma back in the game. What you think about Pumas back in the day?
Because Rihanna shoes are Pumas, so that makes sense.
That's Jigga. Yeah, he's running Puma now.
The Puma always been cool. They had some nice stuff. I don't know about the apparel, but I know the shoes.
I used to dig Puma back in the day.
Huh?
Yeah, I got a question.
Oh, got a question. What's happening?
What are your thoughts on at least 25 people running for mayor, including the majority of the council?
Yeah, that's a good thing. I mean, you got a whole bunch of people.
Depends on who those people are.
I think just the fact it's a lot of people. We got choices now. You used to only have a couple of choices, but you got to do your due diligence and figure out what's happening. I've noticed that there's a lot of sisters running for mayor now. So some of the major cities like Atlanta and different places have an Asiatic mayor, female. And so I think that people are starting to really understand if you want to make a difference out here, you're going to have to get involved.
That is the future of the United States. That's the future face of the United States. The Asiatic female. Just let y'all know that right now.
Really?
Yeah. I'm talking about all offices.
She can't be there without he. She can't be without he. No, she can't. Because guess what? She got sons and nephews. And
that don't mean nothing. They still in the population. I'm saying as far as law enforcement go, as far as judges, as far as lawyers and all that type of stuff, you see a lot of Asiatic women stepping into those positions now. Yeah. That's what I mean by the face of America.
No, I know what you mean, but I'm just saying you're going to take us with you. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, y'all still here. We trying to keep y'all out of jail.
Well, y'all got the education. Y'all got the education.
That's why we going to go be the lawyer.
Y'all went to college. We went to the county. This is how it happened. Y'all got that education. So, yeah, I'm happy for that, too. Because that means that we're moving.
Do we got somebody on these 25 people that's an Asiatic female? I need to look.
I mean, I think we do.
25 people are.
We're gonna check it out.
I heard about some.
Tell the caller to. Yeah, they ask the question so they can help us out.
Let us know if it's any Asiatic women on that ballot.
But it's not only just for certain things. I think he's talking about for different districts, different.
No, he's saying for mayor. I heard them talking about it on the radio.
But he also said for other things too, right? the question.
And he said, including the majority of the council. They are running for mayor. Yeah, okay, there it is. Mayor trying to get Sly up out of there.
Man, Sylvester Stallone, baby, he's up in there.
Yeah,
and you know he
did.
K-Town. K-Town, what's happening, Brad? And I think that Sly right now, he might there's some things going on with the Kansas City, Missouri government, if you will. And I'm not sure if a lot of people are happy with some of the things that have been going on lately. It's under his watch. So I think it's a good thing. I think it's going to be interesting, which if you got all these people, you're going to have you are going to have debates. And so we can see where these people are coming from and what they're talking about. But I think it's always good when you got more people involved than less people.
Well, yeah. And that just means we got to actually do our research and actually go vote. Then vote when that election comes around. I think that election's in 2019, though, if I'm not mistaken.
Since we're kind of talking about the law anyway, I'm just going to run on down through it. So one of the things I seen today is the Supreme Court upholds Trump's travel ban for certain Muslim countries. So I guess that came up it was at a discretion at one point in time. They can make a discretionary call, but now it's just if you're from these certain places, things like 7 of them, you just cannot come to the United States of America, period. There's a ban on you. Mm-hmm. And the Supreme Court upheld that today. Anyway. I'm not saying I'm not saying they want to. I'm just saying they ban. If you live in Yemen or what have you, you can't come here. So it's they supported him on that today. So that was just an event that went on, and we got to pay attention because it's not necessarily about what happens to one people. It's just like if that can happen to them, then next it's going to just continue to grow and grow. So that's why we got to be conscious about it.
Well, I don't know about that. Hey, it's the reason that they banned them. Y'all can't act like they don't be time bombs till they start blowing stuff up.
Tbeyb, you ready to jump on me? I'm not saying I hold no political ties or affiliations with these Muslim countries. I'm not even saying I identify with them necessarily on the, sometimes they'd be like, well, Nell, you a Muslim, you are a person that identifies with that particular faith, but my faith is peace. It ain't about blowing up buildings or fighting or anything like that. So I'm all about, doing the right thing.
Let me Google that real quick.
Get on that.
Let me see
what's her name?
He said Maxine Waters
went off today.
In her comments.
She went off today.
Yeah, he said, what do you think about that?
Well, she had to apologize, not necessarily apologize, but they thought she was so radical that she was trying to get people to hurt Trump. And she had to come out and say, no, I'm not advocating, violence or advocating for anybody to go do anything to him. But yeah, she was blasting him. She from the beginning has been blasting him as far as not being qualified for the position. But yeah, Maxine Waters went off on him. I don't know if it's a good thing or she could have did it more intelligent, like I'm not in it more intelligently, but she could have did it maybe in a different manner.
I really don't know what all she said, so I don't want to be too much speak on that. I do see something she said she didn't call for harm, but my thing of it is, hey, never mind.
Go ahead and express yourself, Tbeyb. Go on and express. You just told me you told me the last creation it wasn't no list.
No.
Matter of fact, we got to talk about that too.
No, y'all was saying that they just keep record of everybody just all together. Now I know they might have certain people that they have their eye on, and of course, but I'm not saying y'all saying it's like just everybody in the world. It's too many people.
I think that we were talking about in the United States of America, if you got
but y'all talking about satellites in space.
Well, I was going to tie it together. If you have technology, if you have a cell phone, if you send an email, if you send a text message, then they can track it. I'm not saying they're doing that. What I heard, and this is just speculation, but I heard that there's certain buzzwords or code words or things that if you say something, it triggers that. But if you're just talking about, making oatmeal cookies every day, they might know about it, but they're not going to. No alarms will go off. But there are certain people. There is a list out there. So go ahead and say what you want to say, Tbeyb. You already on there.
Hold on, I'm trying to go back to this Maxine Waters because he said that for instance, in advising people to draw a crowd when they see a member of the current president's cabinet. What that means? That's what she's saying, like crowd around them. So we can get the sniper. Didn't they just let old boy out anyway? Or he about to get out? The guy that shot who he shoot, right? Who he shoot? It's only been 2 presidents assassinated.
Ronald Reagan got shot, but he didn't die.
Shot Reagan.
What's his name? I think his name was it Oswald or something like that? No, it was
I can Google
Jack
it, but
Ruby
I think he
or
got
something?
to get out of jail.
They put him in the crazy house
for a
Yeah,
while.
but he supposed to be about to get out because I've been seeing memes talking about he getting out just in time. We need you
Oh
again.
wow, we need you. Now you're not supposed to laugh about that. That's gonna get you on the list.
Hey, y'all know that we are not down with this president. Hey,
Oh,
it is
man.
what it is. I mean, don't get me wrong. Nah, I ain't even gonna say
We
it.
don't really get into politics a lot, do we?
Get into it because the presidential that stuff really don't move me. So I guess I really don't. You know,
You think it's too far?
I think it's
too
propaganda.
far from you, or you think it's just a lot of like political
of
spin and things like that that's involved?
Yeah, just a lot of spin and
I got
oh, we got a lot of comments. Okay, let me
Talk
try to
to
get
us
one real quick. Okay, so K-Town said, I feel and think the city have meetings that should post it where it's gonna be at and allow us to voice our opinions. I don't know what meetings he's talking about. I feel and think that law enforcement departments throughout the Midwest should start shooting bean bags to be able to. Now I do believe that instead of police having live ammunition, that they might have rubber bullets
and
like they do in
that.
other countries and stuff. Yeah. I don't think police need to be armed with live ammunition because they just killing people. And honestly, they seem like they can't handle the responsibility.
They can't handle it. And the thing about it is they have a gun when it's supposed to be, and how I understand it, most laws are written to where if that officer feels like his or her life is in immediate danger, then they can respond with deadly force. When somebody's a 17-year-old kid running from you, or the brother was late on child support and he took off kind of running, you can't do that. So you need a taser and rubber bullets so you can handle yourself, because that's really all that's going on. It's just crazy. Just this crazy how we dealing with each other right now.
Said basically she meant just make them uncomfortable and let them know how you feel. Said the press secretary Sarah Sanders was asked to leave the restaurant by an owner. That is something that, I mean, we the people. Hey, we ain't nah, we refuse to serve you today.
I mean, well, you know,
I ain't gotta serve you.
I thought that's what they was fighting about in the 60s.
No. Oh yeah, that is. But I'm just saying. I mean, I guess it would be your prerogative.
Well, you know, if you own the restaurant, you have the, I guess, the ability to say who you want to serve or not.
Yeah. I don't know.
So then now that comes down to my next question.
I appreciate all you guys' comments. Keep them coming.
I want to ask you a question.
Okay.
And I kind of know the answer, but I never do know what you're gonna say. So, how do you feel about the 4th of July? And then tell me why. And I'm just asking, you know, the normal thing is, you know, this and that, but you're part and parcel of this nation. So how do you feel about it? How you feel about it?
A lot of people, they say, you know, we should celebrate Juneteenth and not celebrate the 4th of July. The only reason that I will refrain from the 4th of July is because, I mean, to me, that's really not a man-made holiday. That's an event that took place in the United States.
And it marks a date in history.
Right. And like our people, we celebrated events. We didn't do individuality, but we did events. So I really don't have no problem with it. And plus, I love fireworks, and that's the only time you can pop them. So I'm with it.
Okay. Now,
my daddy used to say, I might as well just give you $1 and let you set it on fire. It looks pretty when it sparkles. Okay.
I like the noise.
I'd rather for it to sparkle.
So like just playing devil's advocate. So it also represents some other things too, like America's getting its independence, right?
From
Great Britain.
Yeah, I wanted to say that, but I didn't want to be wrong. Yeah, I didn't want to be wrong. So Great Britain, okay.
So you know, you always have that other side of the conversation.
So what's wrong with that?
I mean, it's really nothing, but it's almost like Cinco de Mayo, right? That represents a date. It represents bookmarks of the time in history. But you know, a lot of our Spanish,
we went in debt. No,
our Spanish brothers and sisters, a lot of them don't like Cinco de Mayo.
They don't. I celebrate Cinco de Mayo.
They don't like it because that marks the day that Mexico got they behind whooped.
Oh.
So that's like celebrating a defeat.
I thought it was their independence.
No, they don't like that because they got took over by the French.
Oh.
I mean, by the Spanish.
Well,
by
we
Spain.
didn't get took over by Britain, so.
Well, the guys that came over here, the colonists, they left out of there, and so they were fighting for their independence, but then subjugated other people. I mean, after that, but
would that just get them permission to enslave us? Now we were already enslaved, so they didn't need permission for that. So I don't know.
I'm just throwing that out there.
I like the fireworks and the colors and the noise.
So you gonna spend $200 on fireworks this year?
I might spend $250.
Really?
I'm just saying.
You gonna get the quarter stick of dynamite? You gonna go ahead and get the half stick?
I really might go to Riverfest though and just watch.
They got some good ones out there where you can just sit back on the lawn, and, in a lawn chair or something, and watch the display.
Yeah, I might do that.
I always kind of want to ask Asiatics about that because it's a and I wouldn't be mad either way, but that's always kind of a controversial little question. So I want to throw it out there.
4th of July.
I just want to throw it out there.
I ain't trying to have a barbecue without a flag now, because that's really illegal for them to be not. Is it? Well, I'm not gonna say it's illegal because too many people do it, but it's in the Articles of Confederation, I believe. Is that a real thing? That's
Confederation?
Okay, that's what I think. No, the Articles of Confederation, that they ain't supposed to be printing stuff with the flag on it, or is that?
No, that's not in that. But there's
not the article.
There's rules. I don't know what they call, but there's rules about how the flag is supposed to be carried. And one, it's not supposed to be carried parallel to the ground. It's not supposed to be draped over anything like a tablecloth. People eating on it. They got the little paper ones or whatever, but it's supposed to be flying high, and that's really it. But how we are, we got it: clothes, hats, shoes, tablecloth, napkins, cups. So
and it ain't even supposed to be have all that. Oh, it's just called the U.S. flag code.
Yeah.
What is it in? I thought it was in.
It's
something important.
It just shows how I first learned about it when they were talking about how the NFL players were taking a knee, and that was disrespecting the flag. That was kind of the spin they put on it. But then when you look up the flag codes, it's being
a lot of stuff.
They got flags like say big as a whole entire football field, and then they have a bunch of people carry that flag or fan it out where it's parallel to the ground, and that's against the code. So when you really want to get technical, who's really disrespecting the flag is the people that are not honoring the custom or tradition of how it's supposed to be displayed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because it's something about printing it and reselling it for monetary purposes. That's actually in there, and I'm like, they the ones doing it. It's
crazy. It's
but
crazy.
So I don't really need all that,
right?
But I'm cool with the fireworks.
Well, I'm gonna need y'all to stop saying that my young brothers who playing the game is all being so disrespectful to the flag.
Oh. The policy actually states they can use any force to make the arrest, including deadly force, no matter the offense. We have to get those policies changed, or people will continue to die for petty stuff. That's true.
I don't think that's in every single state, though. That is a state law. Only reason I know that is because this young brother that most recently, the one that made the news, the little brother, he was running, and in that particular, it might have been California, I forget where it was, but they say, if the officer feels like his life is in imminent danger, or anyone in the public's life is in imminent danger. So the guy might be running, but if he thinks, the guy's going to run into a store and take somebody hostage or hurt somebody else in the neighborhood, then he can kill him too. But it just depends on what state you're in. And speaking of that, and we can bounce around a little bit, this truth be told, on July 1st, the first day of July, the application for conceal and carry in Kansas, it's going to be reduced. They're taking the price down for the cost of the application fee to be able to conceal and carry a gun in the state of Kansas. And Kansas is only one of 6 states that you can carry a gun without a permit, and it can be concealed. So it used to cost $132.50. They just lowered it to $112. So they took a little bit of money off. But I always find it funny that they say the schools don't have money over in Kansas. They say there's this big depletion of money, but you are lowering the application fee. Why not take that money and give it to the school? Whatever the difference is.
That money for the schools anyway.
Right, but they're trying to make it easy as possible for anyone 18 years old to go get a gun and conceal it and carry it. But that was just a little thing that's happening on the first day of July. So I don't know if you knew that.
Nah, I don't know, because you don't even need that to have a gun. So
I guess not. A lot of people have guns that don't have.
No, you don't need it.
The conceal and carry, the permit, the card.
You don't. They passed that.
I need it.
It's like, oh well.
No, I don't need it. I don't want it. But they passed it to what? So Missouri got a conceal and carry.
You don't have to. It doesn't have to be. I don't know. It's open carry.
Well, that's if it's displayed. In some places you can carry your gun, but it has to be visible. In other places you can't tuck it. I'm just saying, you some people might not want everybody to know they packing.
Oh, shoot, ain't no point. Hey, I'm gonna have it. You can see it. Or I guess if you put it in your purse, that's considered
conceal and carry, right?
If it's in your glove compartment, that's
conceal and carry, right?
So yeah, you might need a license.
But certain states you don't, and guess Kansas is one of them.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
What I was about to say. So let me go back here because they were talking about policies, and they start getting some policies and start talking about the license to kill us and the reasons to kill us and everything like that.
Right,
we can change the policies all day long. Like I really think that all police officers should have to undergo some type of psychological exam and a lie detector test
for sure.
And they should ask them, "Are you racist? Are you sexist? Are you
whatever?"
Like all kind of questions.
And
if that needle even jump, you can't be no police officer because you never know. Like I really think that should be implemented.
Absolutely.
With stuff and things. But another thing is when it comes to our people just need to wake up because we really protected by these laws, but you ain't protected under certain terms and terminology. So you give up all those rights. So you really learn who it is that you are, and then then maybe things start changing.
Two comments, Tbeyb. 2 comments. First comment is one, I agree with you. 2 is I think all police officers, part of that package that you're talking about, they need to have body cameras. It's too many times that things happen that we could see, clearly see if the person was doing what have you. But if the officers don't have a body camera or what's been going on lately, they've been turning them off. So they get ready to get into an altercation or pull somebody over, they turn the body camera off. So I think there should be a policy in place to where they got to keep that thing running. Like soon as the siren come on in the car or whatever, the camera needs to be connected somehow to immediately turn on, and not the individual officer should not be able to turn on or off his own camera. Yeah, it should be controlled from the satellite.
Put these satellites to use.
Put them satellites on the people that we really need to be watching.
And y'all know, after that show last week, I went to work the next day talking about these satellites because I was just
they told you up, didn't they?
No, because they did. Because I get you to asking. I start asking questions. Then you be like, well, dang, I don't know. Because my whole thing of it is, if we got a satellite, do every country got their own satellite out in space?
The major ones do.
Okay. So how many countries are in the world?
Well, it's not every country. It's the major ones. So you got Russia, America, I'm sure like China, some of the major.
Can I Google how many countries have satellites
Absolutely.
in space and see what happens?
We live in this electrified age. I'm sure you can Google that.
I'm just thinking like, wouldn't they, and they float, and like, do these satellites just work for a lifetime? Like they'll never run out of batteries or nothing?
Batteries. They constantly shoot new ones up there.
Okay,
they constantly put new technology.
The old ones?
They just crash. They fall to the earth.
How do they fall? Is there gravity in space?
Well, probably what they have is either they burn up, coming down, coming into the atmosphere.
But how do they fall? Ain't no gravity.
I think. And then and when they're obsolete, that doesn't mean they don't work. They can still communicate with the satellite from Earth, so they just call it home because they're going to launch a new one.
I mean, how often do these satellites get launched?
They had satellites in space before you were born.
I mean, I know because somebody said the 70s.
Had one called
do
Sputnik.
Still work?
They had one called Sputnik. I think it was released by Russia, and it had to be in the 1960s. I think we went to the moon in 68 or 69, and so they had satellites. Supposedly, we'll put arguably. Went to the moon in the late 60s, and they had satellites up there. They had a monkey in space before they put a man up there, supposedly. But satellites even prior to that.
Only 12 countries from the list below, which is the USSR, which I don't even know what that is.
That's Russia.
Oh, okay. The USA, France, Japan, China, UK, India, Russia. So the USSR can't be Russia.
The USSR is Moscow, which is out right outside of. It's connected.
Ukraine, Israel, Iran, and North Korea
all have satellites.
And one original organization, the European Space Agency, have independent launch satellites on their own individual developments and launch vehicles.
And we have our space program, our space military that we're going to get up there.
Which country has the most number of satellites?
You sitting in
the United States got 568 satellites.
Come talk to me now. Now talk to me.
Oh my goodness. So I'm just saying, so what if these so that's why they want to have a military in there so they can start shooting other countries' satellites.
Thank you for Star Wars. Because you control whoever controls information.
Hey, Trump might be running something.
You trying? Oh Lord!
I'm just saying, you rather be the first than the last. Like, ain't nobody else thought about shooting nobody else's satellite.
Well, we hadn't been there.
Satellite,
it's over for them.
They whole country messed up.
You can't launch missiles.
Hey.
A lot of the missiles that come, they are geared.
So that's why we ain't scared of nobody, because we got 500 different satellites. Probably got lasers.
And we got all of the military, the guns, the weapons.
Nah,
and all
I
of
wouldn't say that, because they say China's is bigger, and North Korea be having us shook sometimes. They be one guy to
they not messing with the USA. But if
we going off this satellite game, then we winning.
We winning.
That's like playing Battleship. What's that game?
Battleship. Yeah.
I'm about to develop a new game.
B12.
We gonna call that mug Battle Rockets.
Battle Rocket. You sang my satellite.
Satellite.
You sang it.
We gonna be battling these satellites. Okay, I'm gonna quit joking around with this stuff. But no, I was curious. I'm like, well, how long do they last? Do they crash to each other when they come down? They just crashing in like meteorites anywhere in the world? Like, I just, I'm so happy you learned something from participating in the Truth Be Told. It's good that we all learn. We learning too. So that's why we need y'all's participation, because y'all got information that we need. But it's so many of them, then we can't be running everything off of all of them, because we got almost 600 of them.
Listen, they got it down. They got it down.
That's crazy. I'm like, how you control the orbit, or where nowhere it's at, or
because
who's watching these satellites?
They got global positioning. They know where they. NASA, and they're talking about turning NASA into a private company, and making it private owned. That way they can do some stuff. What you gonna do with satellite, Tbeyb?
I don't know. Shoot it into space.
Just gonna sit there. You gonna sit there and binge watch what's that TV show?
No, we gonna shoot it into. They said they got one. Why the Europeans got a?
You gonna kick it off?
Europeans got a satellite.
You gonna kick the?
No, we
space
need to get. Where's MBuff? Anybody a member MBuff on here? We need to get our own. They got a European. They got. See, a
baby, you didn't even know satellites was up there like that till 5 minutes ago.
Well, now that I know, I'm just saying, they little independent company got a satellite. We need a company with a satellite too.
We need everything. We need an airline. We need a chain of hotels.
I was talking about something. She put all her girls on a spaceship. They really planning on about to start going to Mars.
And wait till you hear this American prophet put the space needle on the record. That's what it's about. That's the final frontier.
Too. We can indict what happens anywhere in the world, but we only get involved when oil men have a stake somewhere. But we're not the only people with nukes. Do they say Korea got nukes?
Everybody, right? North Korea.
I wouldn't say everybody.
Some of the when anybody want to get some, we gonna be standing there like, nah, we're gonna de-arm you.
The United States so scandalous, they probably sell it to them.
Listen, and then make them give it back.
Like they got weapons of mass destruction.
Like Jeezy said, first you give us the stuff, then you throw us in jail.
Like that's crazy though. We gonna take a station identification or a station break real fast, and then we gonna come back and talk about these transgenders running sports.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one. I like that. Be right back, KUAW. Make sure you log in to the Facebook and put a comment. Peace.
Hey, Facebook. We're just taking a little radio break. I see a couple of people didn't tap in. So, hi, Miss Armida. Y'all make sure y'all. Hi, Dion. Hey, Nikila. Appreciate all you guys. Of course, definitely appreciate.
I reiterate that.
Coming. Hi, Danita. Hi, Terrence. We definitely love our KUAW family. I see Demario on here. How y'all doing? Y'all gotta make sure y'all. Yeah, make sure y'all keep the comments coming, keep tapping in, because we're about to start talking about these transgender children running sports. And I kind of got a lot of bounce off topics with this one, because y'all know my mind be rolling. So we're gonna talk about this. We're gonna get into it, because I'm trying to see how far are we willing to let this go, and what are we doing now are we encouraging this? Are we discouraging this? Like, how are we really dealing with this in our children with these days and age, with a lot of things that's going on,
That's right.
One more. I think it's one more. Okay, it's gonna be one more.
One more. We got.
This is a cool show. Thank you, Terrence. He told me that we need to start listing our topics. But we don't be knowing.
No, we do be knowing. You said I like the spontaneous conversation, because we talked about it. So tell Terrence that.
Yeah, I do like that. I like
because Terrence, I was with you. I was like, we gotta get together and make sure we got a game plan. She said, I just like the spontaneous feel of live conversation.
Okay, and we're back.
And we back.
Thank you guys for allowing us to take that quick station identification, let you guys know what you're listening to.
That's right. Truth be told.
So my next topic was inspired by it's going on right now. It's a school.
Yeah.
It's 2 transgender girls.
Sure.
So they're originally boys.
Right.
And
They
they're
got boy
running.
parts.
Yeah.
They got boy parts.
And
Okay.
they're running track.
Yeah.
In the girls division.
Right.
And they smoked everybody. Might as well have ran laps like around the other girls in the sports. And so all the parents upset now. Like, no, that's not fair.
Right.
They shouldn't be. And so I want to know what you guys think before I even say what I
because you know I'm about to ask you because you are a former track athlete.
Yeah.
And I definitely want to know.
And I'm fast.
If
like, don't just say former. I'm a former great athlete. You could Google me. I got records.
I'm supposed to say all that?
Yeah.
I'm supposed to give your resume before I say that. So as a former track athlete, and they're going to be putting their comments in there. If you had to line up next to a man or a young boy, and I think anytime a young man's over 12, he's really kind of not considered a boy because his hormones, his testosterone done kicked in, so to speak. And so you have to line up against a guy. How you feel about that? Would you? And you got beat, and you got smoked though.
Okay, yeah, then I'm gonna be mad. At the end, I'm gonna try to race them at first because I didn't race some guys, you know. Yeah, I'm gonna try to race them at first, but then if I get smoked,
so you at state, right? It's the biggest race of the year at state.
See, same age, and like when you talking about high school and middle school, and you know even summer track, when you got those age groups, like I don't think it's fair because men are physically. I mean, that's one of the things that it might be the only thing they might be stronger at is physically. Not just like
you gotta watch Tbeyb sometimes, but I understand that the point is.
But I'm just saying,
physically, men are stronger, faster.
They're built to be protectors, so they're going to be faster. They're going to have more muscles. That's what testosterone is for.
Testosterone.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do.
So the parents are trying to petition the school to make the
put some type of policy in place to where they
women,
can't. Right.
And I'm gonna address them as women because I'm not gonna bash any transgenders or anything on their show. But the young people.
If you address them as women, can you complain? Because it's women, young ladies racing young. So. I'm not saying women or girls or ladies. I'm saying if you actually are looking at this individual as a female, can you get mad if she's racing with females?
Well, here's the thing: they want them to take testosterone. That's how you say it. Is that I say it right?
Yeah, that's the male hormone, testosterone.
Suppressants.
Yeah, I don't like that.
And that's also another. I'm like, are they too young for that?
You start messing with somebody's hormones when they're in middle school or high school or whatever. You're actually affecting them for the rest of their life. And so, yeah, they might be like that their senior year of high school or whatever, but later on, you done got they system messed up.
Yeah, and it's like you don't want to exclude them because we be who you are nowadays.
How about this?
They want to put transgender bathrooms in schools.
Yeah.
Why? You're encouraging this amongst children? Don't get me wrong. Everybody has the right. Okay,
not only that, I'm sorry for cutting you off. They're saying when the baby is born, you're not supposed to say it's a boy, it's a girl. You're just supposed to say it's human, okay. Right? And then when they get old enough, they get to decide what they want to be. And so it's a lot out there.
Okay, so I got some comments. Yeah. So Kevin said, I don't think it's fair and I'm gay. Transgender people deserve to live their lives, but when it comes to school, I'm not down with it. Linda said, a man that is born a man will die a man. If a dog eats his tail cut off, he's still a dog. It doesn't make him a cat. Well, okay. So
there's a touchy one. It's because we want to give everybody their fair due because it's not about disrespecting. It's just about the other athletes. So it's 8 lanes on most tracks.
But it's like, because if it was your baby out there,
the other 7 people, they gotta compete against somebody who has a distinct advantage.
It's advantage.
It's just like taking performing enhancing drugs.
And that's what they tried to say. Because they said if a transgender girl, so she's a girl and decides she wants to be a boy, and she wanted to run into boy sports, and she had to take steroids to be on their level, she would get suspended for illegal drug use.
Right. Or if she wants to take steroids and run against other girls. Yeah. Because she wants testosterone too.
And that's not fair either. They shouldn't have a choice. You don't have a choice whether, I don't know. It's so touchy that I don't want to say they should just be able to be included in sports, period.
Track is one of the
to your actions.
So track is a sport, where you can, line the girl up against the guy, but then are you going to start having transgender WNBA basketball player dunking the ball on other girls and blocking shots just because they can
it's like how
faster.
far do they go, because they want them to take the suppressants, because that's what they do in the Olympics. If you're a transgender, they had it a couple of years ago, or not this Olympics, maybe the past Olympics. I don't know. I would have to look it up.
Why not just have a transgender heat?
No,
so
we're not doing that.
Perform against other people with the same abilities.
No,
it's not promoting. It's not. It's to keep everybody competing against the talent level that they're supposed to.
But then it's like, okay, so what? So you just say transgender, period. So does it matter? So then does a transgender woman get her own sport versus a transgender man?
Transgender men
go
have
off
a
what
heat
you originally are, or what
women.
you want to be now? Like, I'm so confused.
You might have a 7.
Hormone levels?
You got to find a way to measure your competition or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about school sports, because when you can start getting to that level, that's
they want them to have their own bathroom. They can have their own track team.
I think that we should not be promoting sexuality in children. Period.
I'm with you, Tbeyb.
And at 12 years old, I don't think you should be. I feel more of like a woman, or I feel more than like a girl, or. I don't know. And I don't know if that's if it's something that we're doing, like when we're raising them, like if you see a little boy playing with a doll, you taking it like, no, that's for girls.
I think it's a combination of things. It's a lot of these images that we see. It's different things that happen in the food that we eat. It's a lot of stuff.
Yeah. And it's like, what do you do if your child comes to you like, Mama, I want to be a girl? You just allow it? You start taking them to the nail shop?
You know what? There was a real controversial thing probably a couple years ago, 3-4 years ago, where a little boy, I think he was 6 years old, so that's the age you start school, or
maybe something. A transgender Olympics.
And he wanted to wear a pink dress and some like pink Chuck Taylors or something, his mama let him, and so he wore a dress and some matching pink Chuck Taylors to the kindergarten or preschool, whatever he was in,
first grade. Probably was mad,
and he got to do it. So we're in a different world now. But I want to say this too.
I want to know what you guys think. Let us know, especially if y'all got children. If you got children, please tap in, then let me know, because I don't have children, and I want to prepare myself one day, because I ain't saying that it could not happen to anybody. If they say when people are gay, I done have many conversations with people that are gay. That's not a bad term for it, right? Or should I say homo?
No, that was worse.
Oh.
You went worse.
I was trying to say homosexual, but I didn't finish it.
LGBTQ.
Okay, if they're part, but I don't know if kids are considered. I don't know. What I'm saying is they feel like they were born that way. So if they feel like they were born that way and they always been that way, then why would, I guess, a 3-year-old little boy, if he really feels like he's a girl, he would want to play with dolls?
But I think that has a lot to do with his parents as well, too.
But that people that are like that say that it's not.
But this is the thing. It's whatever you doing as a child is preparing you for what you're going to do as an adult. So your parents do have a decision. And when you're born, you don't have a sexual preference because you're not hormonally driven at that time. No baby is born, come out talking about, I want to have sex with somebody a woman
if that's the person with that last comment, I might.
Now, I will throw this out there, though. I was watching this thing, and this is not my opinion. I was watching this interview from a young lady, and she was saying, we're talking about the LGBTQ, and she was saying if a person went to a doctor, if you went to the doctor and said, I want you to cut my arm off so I can do something, you would probably have some type of psychological evaluation.
Right.
But if me and man, I hope it's not a bad word. If I went to a doctor and said, I want to cut my penis off, they're going to say, well, when you want to schedule your appointment? And so there's something inherently wrong with that.
Yeah.
And if you look at it on a larger scale, some people that I've talked to about the subject think it's actually part of a bigger plan of population control. Yeah. Because if you got young boys that only want to have a relationship with another young boy, or females that want to have a relationship with a female, then we're not going to be reproducing at the rate in which we were reproducing in the past. So it's a way to slow us down by.
But they not do. I mean, because I got into it. Okay, let me go. So, and I'm gonna come back to that because I want to read some of the comments.
Sure.
Real quick, address some of them real fast.
Throw it out there.
So Terrence, let's go back up to Terrence. He said a transgender Olympics, but see, the Olympics don't have this problem because if you're transgender to compete in whichever sport, like if you're a man and you're competing as a woman, you have to take the testosterone suppressant.
Right.
And
how come I want this? I'm just thinking. I wonder why the dudes, the guy that is now a girl, why don't he just still go ahead and race the boys as a girl?
As a girl, I don't know, because he want to fit in, because he's a girl. He wants to be a girl.
Race the boys though.
No, he want to race the girls. Okay, so Linda said, "What you call him?" Oh, don't do that. I don't know. Okay. Linda said, "I keep it real. God created Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve.
I didn't even look at it.
I have every right to voice my opinion. Think before you speak. Have mercy, sure Lord." Okay, you really do, and I'm gonna leave it just at that. Your opinion. K-Town, if you want me to read your comments, you got to stay on topic. They can wear what they want. Talk to your children. Teach them what's right. Then, as an adult, they can make a decision, and that kind of goes into. Playing like when they're playing, that's just like what's that movie with Adam Sandler and he got the little boy and he let him wear the superhero stuff to school, right? Because he wanted to wear the cape and the costume and stuff like that. It's like let them wear what they want. They want to express themselves, right? But you got a problem if your son want to come up dressed like Young Thug, you know? Well, and even though that's what they seeing on TV and stuff, I don't know. I'm just like, how do you do that?
Well, I think that. You know, I don't totally disagree, but I think what happens is you give your children choices. Now you control the choices. So you can wear this or you can wear that or whatever, and then they get to pick it. But just to let your child do anything that they want to do, I think that you may be preparing them to have a maybe an identity crisis or come into some type of a problem as they get older. And then once they get that in their mind that, you know, I don't have to identify as anything that, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that, but just understand you're going to have a much tougher road to hoe, so to speak.
Okay, so James said, let everyone be included. Some kids develop at different times. There's no girl or boy toys because then we start segregating people, integrate everyone, love everyone, accept everyone for who they are. Love goes a long way. Parents don't decide your sexuality. That is a myth. Great people come from great people. We shouldn't judge. No one is wrong. I mean, God decides your sexuality. Just because you decide to go against it don't mean that's what it was.
You're going to have some people that are in the medical profession that are going to tell you the man decides the sex. And the reason why is because the woman does not have a Y chromosome. She is XX.
But that's not really deciding, though. It ain't like you like, oh, this about to be a boy. No, like you're not deciding.
Let me rephrase. It's determined.
It's determined. Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's God.
Exactly. I mean, this is how my pops say. My pops say that our children don't come from us, they come through us. Yeah. So they come through us. They don't come from you, they come through you. And then you have an obligation to guide them in the right way, to direct them with love and give them the right type of if they're a plant or a seed, they give them the right rain, water, and sunshine.
He would never be a girl.
Who's that?
That I don't know. We must have said something. She just said he would never be a girl. But see, here's my thing, because I'm not one of those people that are like homophobic. I can say that word.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm not
like
either.
It's to each his own. Like I don't judge anyone because you can't call yourself a Christian. You can't call yourself in my eyes, you can't call yourself a Christian. You can't call yourself a righteous person. You can't call yourself any of that if you're passing judgment on someone else, because God tells you that that's not your job. That is his job, and he's going to do it as he sees fit. That's not for you to be sitting out here looking at like, oh, he's with him, he's disgusting. You judging, you sinning. So I just want to say that just for some of the comments that are posted, y'all know people are on their own comments here.
Right.
But so I don't want anybody under the impression that that's what you're trying to promote anything. I just really wanted to talk about it because these young people are really going through this right now. Like and they spoke out and they like, how does it feel? And it's like, well, I feel like I can't be myself and all this other kind of stuff. When people in our mind, some people like, well, yourself is a boy.
Well, I want to throw this out there.
I'm a girl.
If you are part of the LGBTQ community, you want to be treated fairly. You want to be treated right. Can anybody say by putting this young girl that used to be a boy in a track in the heat with all girls, is that treating the other girls right or fair? It's fair. Not letting them be able to experience their high school or junior high and say, I set the record for the 200-meter dash.
Because a boy gonna kill it. Boys they faster than girls. I used to race my brother.
You can't because I want respect. I got everybody else has to suffer. It needs to be balanced. So we got to figure out a way to where you can compete and do your thing, because I want you to express yourself on the track or football field or basketball court, but it has to be balanced and fair for everybody that's participating.
I don't know if you should even let your child become a transgender. Like, they're under the age of 18.
I think at 18 you could probably make your own decision, but
a lot of those, I'm saying under the age of 18, I'm not taking you to get your nails done, Tommy.
Right. And some Louboutins.
I'll let you express yourself. Let you have a cool little swag but you're not walking around with fake nails and weave. No,
and you know that the president, I think, of Howard University had to put a statement out that the men could no longer carry purses, wear high heels, dresses, and lipstick to class. In college.
Now I wouldn't say carry purses because that's becoming a thing. You seen LeBron with his man purse. That was about 40,000. Okay.
And what you're seeing today, see, a lot of you guys are not old enough, but back in the 60s, they called them European man bag or whatever. The Europeans would carry a wallet, but it would look big, put all your stuff in it. And it was a man bag then.
Linda, I really don't get where you're going with that, because you said people are committing suicide. Is that fair to say that's okay to do? If that's how they see fit to end their life, that's on them.
I would not probably comment like that. But I'm trying to figure out what is she saying.
I don't know. I'm saying, because I guess she's saying it's not. I don't know what's not.
Not right to judge, not right to be homosexual, or not right to. I'm not quite sure.
You're gonna have to let us elaborate a little bit more.
Speaking of, go ahead.
James said, "God loves everyone, for everyone is flawed. You are flawed when." Why judge others' flaws?
Absolutely.
Well, I'm not saying that your sexuality is a flaw either.
And we're not.
You're perceiving it as a flaw.
No, we're all in agreement on that. What we're saying is we're just trying to figure out how to make it fair, and make it equitable so everybody can enjoy that experience. Because it seems like to make one happy is to make the other one mad. So if you tell the student that they cannot participate, then they're going to be upset. If you tell them they can participate, you're going to upset someone else.
My thing of it is, I don't think as parents we should be allowing our kids to be gay. I'm just going to say it. Because he's talking about gay teens and all that kind of stuff. My kids, you're going to have to be gay when you get out of my house.
I mean, I'm from another era, and I believe that all your judgment and everything else.
And I'm not judging you.
I'm talking about your, when I say judgment, as a, how they say sometimes children make bad choices.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So you make judgment calls. You don't know nothing at that time. So you got to grow and learn and experience and figure out what's going on before you could say, well, this is me and I always felt like this, and I can understand that. Yeah, but that's because that's from when you can recall. When you were born, you didn't feel that way. You was a baby, and so you recall.
Well, you don't know experience. They could be masterminds. You don't know how far they know I can go back. All right, don't doubt them. Well, I'm just saying that.
Go ahead. I want to say another thing is going to be very controversial. Oh, I don't know if I should say it.
You didn't already open.
I did, so I'm just going to say it. When we look back to the annals of history, you see a lot of the behavior that we're seeing now in Rome and in Greece, public bathhouses, big orgies, things like that. You never really seen a lot of or heard about that type of activity from Asiatic cultures. You don't go to Africa and see about this whole tribe who was a transgender tribe or this or that. But when you look back in history, all through Europe, it's all through Europe. So just keep that in mind.
So question, before I say what I was going to say with that, because even going with that same sense then. So let's talk about, let's go back to the Bible.
Let's rock it.
And he said he burned down the city.
Sodom and Gomorrah.
So we don't think that was Asiatics?
Was the city of Gomorrah?
No, the people,
Lot.
Who was they?
Lot, his family, and Sarah, and they came, and the angels came, and they said, "Listen, man, find just 50 good people."
Allegory or true story?
It was. They say, I think it's part allegory and a part true. It was allegory to make the people of today understand that this is what is subject to happen again. Now, you can go back to that part geographically right now, and it's a desert now. So you can't get nothing in there. Nothing going to grow, nothing going to happen, nothing going to live there. And they say they got a pillar of salt That's who Sarah, which was wife's Lot, was supposed to turn into. But yeah, it was destroyed because Lot couldn't find one good person in the city. It wasn't necessarily just homosexual, it was just everything. It was just all wickedness was happening.
Okay. I was just wondering, you know what I'm saying? Because
but it was talking about that though.
Yeah.
And bestiality.
I want to say, because
some people going to listen today.
Lot and Sarah turned into a pillar of salt. Oh yeah, he's saying just so not true.
Back.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Back.
So not true.
She looked back, and that's the story.
What's so not true, James? Go ahead.
And the look back is not necessarily she turned around and looked back at the city, but say you got a bad habit, and then you get out of it,
backtrack.
And then you backtrack. You're gonna get caught up in it like everybody else.
Oh well, I was just saying that because I believe the people of the Bible are Asiatic, so. When you say that it didn't start, that would be the original start.
Right, I know where you was going with it.
Yeah,
and you're correct with that because and I want people to really know that.
Put it on the Europeans. Okay?
I want people to know
we know that they are putting stuff in the food and all kinds of stuff nowadays to probably turn people, other ways.
If they got a hold of it, they got it from us anyway, most likely because we're their mother and father.
I mean, that doesn't matter because my thing of it is if I could, because when I talk, I ain't got that much time, but to go back to really, if we're all spirits.
Right.
And the physical body, your physical vehicle,
you're carnal,
you come into this. But if the spirit has no gender,
right,
then it's quite possible that I'm not going to say that God makes mistakes, but it's quite possible that you could identify with more of the other than even though you contain both. Like,
well, they're not getting together.
That's just how I love them. So
sure, they're not getting together because they're not attracted to one another. But I do think that we got to look at I think we got cause and effect playing here. So what's the cause? And then we find out,
But when it comes to children, right. What I'm saying is when it comes to children, most parents, you don't even really want to be talking to your children about their sexuality, who they're attracted to sexually. I mean, before the age of 16, maybe. I don't know even that's too young.
I think once you start getting hormonal, then you can have a conversation.
Okay, yeah, we can have a conversation about your hormones, but look, until you turn 21,
no.
Until you get married,
we gotta do. This is what we gotta do. We gotta get back to that old time religion. We need to ask Mr. Walker, what y'all do in y'all day? When your mom and daddy was together, they actually stayed married for considerably a nice period of time. Now, even if you are male and female, they hook up and then they break off. If you a European woman,
the soul is only the second. Hold on, this might end. The soul is only. I gotta.
We got 8 minutes, and you gotta get a
James. The soul is only the second plane. You still got the spirit. I'm just gonna leave that there.
Okay, yeah. There's levels to this, and it's another one higher than
but
the
we're all
soul.
Right. We're all spirits, and we're all walking the same path as far as, but it's differently. I guess.
I think it's different, and I'm gonna be honest with you. One reason why
to address that comment.
Right. Reason why I think that we got to really check that is because we actually got in this condition, kind of being on the bottom by chasing after the customs and traditions and things that other people were doing, not holding true to our laws and to our ways. We got to running after what some people call the gods of Europe, so to speak. So now we act like them, dress like them, walk like them, talk like them.
I don't know.
And if we're going to really get into our own, have our own satellites and our own thing, we got to get back to that old time religion, and we got to love each other, trust each other, and work with each other. But we've been so disbanded, it's crazy.
Yeah, I am. Y'all trying to get on that satellite? I need to start a
we need to do that. We need to do that.
I need to get a GoFundMe so we can get our satellite. We can all come together and buy a satellite and send it to space.
We should get like a stock, something on stock, and they can get stock in and
I gotta call Jay-Z.
Hey, real quick, I want to throw you out there halfway.
Your child by 7 knows. By 7, you know what?
Hold on,
because they know by 7. Ain't no by 7. No 7-year-old should be thinking about laying with no one.
Well, a lot of them.
7, bro.
We'll carry this on the next time, but I will say this: how many people that feel a certain way had an experience as a 7-year-old,
like somebody
as a 4-year-old, as a 5-year-old? Because a lot of that's going on, and it's never brought out. We never hear about it. The child can't tell, like these women would say Bill Cosby or something. They can come back and talk. They were grown, but how does a 3-year-old say that somebody's been fondling me or something's going on? And
that's
so
true.
we also got to look
children,
at that.
cover them too, because there's a lot of things that could factor into.
But to be honest, your children are going to behave like you behave most for like 90% of it. So whatever you putting out there, if you walk a certain way, talk a certain way, I know if I do, my son is going to be right there trying to imitate that or trying to mock that behavior.
Yeah.
And so it's your child is really a reflection on you. If that child is acting up in here, somebody gonna say they don't have no home training. But their mom and daddy don't do woo 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 because they yelling, screaming, cussing, won't sit down.
But I don't know if you can put sexuality on the parent.
Well, I think how the child, I think if you're actually doing your part, your child wants to be like you, wants to please you. Wants
I know, but then should gay or lesbian couples not raise children?
They do. They do.
Because they do raise them. It's like, do that have an influence on it too?
This is going to be a two-parter.
I know. We got to come back to this next week,
I want to throw you
y'all.
under the bus too, because we had a little dicky conversation offline. And I think a lot of people will be interested to know, because right now it sounds like, well, they might be this or that, or don't like another people.
Have a pH. A pH what?
It's because of the food that they eat and their hormone level. See, right now you got young women eating that church's chicken and catching all them steroids, and now she has a menstrual cycle at 9 years old.
Right.
So it's not.
If you go organic, it won't happen.
Listen, you see these young girls fully developed.
Yeah, but we're gonna have to come back to this next week. So y'all make sure y'all get your comments together. I appreciate all the comments that was on here today. Make sure y'all like, share, keep this going to next week. I know it seems like it goes by so fast. I know it goes by so fast. But
hold on, T. Let me interrupt you real quick. I'm gonna do this covenant.
Okay, go ahead.
Ye are the children of one Father, provided for by his care. We got a later comment we can rock with. It's got 4 minutes. Ye are the children of one Father, provided for by his care, and the breast of one mother have given you suck. Let the bonds of affection therefore unite thee with thy brothers, that peace and happiness may dwell in thy Father's house. And when ye separate in the world, remember the relation that bindeth you to love and unity, and prefer not a stranger before thine own blood. If thy brother is in adversity, assist him. If thy sister is in trouble, forsake her not. So shall the fortunes of thy Father continue to contribute to the support of his whole race, and his care be continued to you all in your love to each other. Peace.
It's cutting. Peace. Yeah. So see y'all next week. Same time, same place.
Yeah. And I didn't get into all my list.